one of the things that we're seeing is that the integrations with the technology platforms, especially as broadcast type inventory flows into digital devices, we can take advantage of, as you mentioned, ad decisioning. And why that's important is that these streams of inventory are less predictable than we have, say, in traditional linear. So understanding how much inventory is available at a given point in time is very difficult for broadcasters and programmers. And so we look at it typically from a portfolio management perspective and help them utilize tools that better understand when things aren't necessarily maybe delivering right in one area. How do you utilize these new opportunities where consumers are seeing your content to basically balance out delivery and give advertisers the type of ROI that they need on their campaigns and commitments that have been delivered by the broadcasters? Well, I think one of the biggest difference is the ease of go-to-market. I would say in North America, we're very complex with the amount of MVPDs and satellite providers that we have in this market. So when you want to accomplish something from a change perspective, there's a lot of people involved in that change, right? Where in the European market, the buying model is not quite as complex. There's not quite as much fragmentation. Things are done more at a national level, if you will, versus a regional or local level. So that lack of fragmentation makes scale and operational efficiencies happen much faster from what we've seen, because you're dealing with fewer constituents as part of the ecosystem. When you look at ad decisioning, we provide a service that's part of a larger ecosystem, and we work directly with what I call publisher ad serving technologies that are integrated in-house. That might be someone like a Freewheel or an Adobe. What we look at is we look at a portfolio across all the assets of a given entity. In the case of the agency holding companies, they're looking at a many-to-many problem to solve. They've got many placements that they've procured against many different types of buying models, and then they have many advertisers looking to deliver campaigns at a given point in time. Our ad decisioning is looking at that entire portfolio and helping them understand which campaigns need to be delivered at a given point in time, and we're delivering those instructions back to those native ad servers. In other cases, we might be doing that for media organizations that are also managing a complex portfolio of inventory. That inventory could be their own inventory in addition to non-owned and operated inventory, where they don't necessarily have the foresight to understand volumes and frequency of volumes, especially as you add addressability and data into that. We're helping them in those instances understand how to best decision an ad in a campaign in a way that's based upon not on a greedy algorithm, but based on an algorithm around delivering the goals of those advertisers, which is typically smooth flighting, consistent delivery, and driving against a KPI that's good for that advertiser, that hopefully an ROI drives a return back to that media organization for future investments. If I define programmatic as automation, I think that it's an exciting time to be here, and I would say that what I'm seeing most of is convergence. I think we're no longer sitting back and saying the world of video is not going to transcend other devices. It's happening. People are embracing it. They're investing in technology and solutions that help enable that, and I think we're seeing a lot of buzz around that, especially yesterday at the Second Screen event. You saw some of the releases that Twitter's doing with Twitter Amplify and how that's impacting broadcaster inventory being delivered across multiple devices. We see it every day in our business. We've seen in the last 2 years a shift from, agnostic video being now 50% of how media is planned, which means I don't really care which device it's on as long as I'm hitting my target. And 2 years ago, people were only planning against online video and linear. So big changes have happened relatively quickly, and what's great is I think that across the broadcaster ecosystem, folks are embracing the fact that we've got to innovate around these new consumer behaviors, and so it's an exciting time to be here, and I think we're seeing, to your point, a lot of other digital folks here today.